Okay. So,
January
hello everyone.
Yes. Hi everyone. Actually, this webinar is for you so that you can understand the Japanese, the culture of Japanese language, and what Japanese is, and how this language is going to help you. Along with us, we have Ridhima ma'am. She will help you out for each and every doubts and further for the guidance as well. So I think Ridhima ma'am, we can start.
Okay. So, hello everyone. Right now, we are going to start with the introduction about Japan. So, yeah, let's start it. Okay. So, everyone of you know about Japan and about the culture, everything related to it. And I have told you before also that Japan is also known as Nihon. So all of you know about that? That Japan is known as Nihon?
Yes, ma'am.
So now why Japan is known as Nihon? It's the main fact behind it. So basically here Ni stands for sun and Hon stands for origin. So in short, Nihon means land of rising sun. So the people of Japan take it as a respect towards their country, that in their country the very first sun rises. So in that point of view, they call their country as Nihon as per a very respectful gesture. So we all know about it. Now the main and most important thing is about the language. So we all know that Japan is known as Nihon. But what is its language? So in Japan, we have many suffix counters. So here our first counter that is about language. So language have a counter that is go. So if we want to write any sort of language, like if I want to write French language, so I can write France, and then in addition to that I can put go with it. So this go is used as a suffix of the language. So basically Japanese language is known as Nihon Go. Like Nihon is Japan and Go is for the language. So basically Nihongo is Japanese language. Now Japanese language is different from other foreign languages. So how we can differentiate it and how it's different? Because Japanese is the only language which consists of 3 different scripts. So like in English, we have alphabets. Similarly, in Japanese, we have 3 different sort of scripts that are hiragana, katakana, and kanji. So basically, hiragana is the very basic script of Japanese. So it helps us to write all the Japanese origin words and the grammar. So all the Japanese word and Japanese grammar we can write in hiragana. Whereas katakana script help us to write all the foreign origin words. So like your name, my name, our name are a foreign word for Japanese native because our name is not a Japanese name. So the people of Japan take it as a foreign word. So let us take an example of an apple. So apple, if I take as a fruit, so it's a universal fruit. So in every language, we have a different sort of word for apple. So we can write that apple in Japanese also. That apple in Japanese is known as ringo. But if I take Apple as a company, now Apple company is not Japanese company. So we take that apple as a foreign word and we'll write that apple in katakana. So that is the difference between hiragana and katakana script. And the kanji is very different from hiragana katakana. So basically kanji is a pictorial formation script. So kanji is based on pictures. So what is a pictorial formation? Pictorial formation is a picture derived from a character derived from a picture. So in kanjis, we derive the characters out of a picture. So it's a very interesting script of Japanese. So from a picture, we derived a writing character. So only kanjis will make of hiragana words. There is no kanji for katakana words. So only Japanese origin words have their kanjis, not katakana words have their kanji. So this is all about the script of Japanese. So now we are going to do further thing. Okay, I have told you about this. Okay, so now we are going to do greetings in Japanese. So all of you know few of these greetings, but we have a few more. So we are gonna talk about it today. So first of all, a very good morning. That is Ohayo gozaimasu. So we have this double O sound. So it's a little long sound. So we can say it like Ohayo gozaimasu, like in a big way. Then there's good afternoon and hello. So good afternoon and hello both we can use. So मैं good afternoon भी बोल सकती हूँ. Good afternoon बोलने का sense होगा like I'm talking to someone elder than me or someone higher in social status. Like if I'm greeting my teacher, so I will not say her hello. I'll say her good afternoon. But both the words in Japanese are same. That is konnichiwa. So here ni have a double sound. So that is konnichiwa, like that. So these are the intonations, and Japanese language is very much basically based on intonations. So intonations are very much important in Japanese language. So while learning Japanese, you have to be very much careful about the accent you use. So for that, you have to listen the Japanese accent and try to speak in that. So that will help you a lot. So now next word is good evening. So good evening is konbanwa. Here konbanwa. Kon means today. Ban means evening. So konbanwa means good evening. Like that we can make the sense. So kon is today and ban is evening. So konbanwa whole means good evening. Now next is good night. So good night is oyasumi nasai. So here it's also have a sense behind it. So here yasumi word, it's a middle word, oyasumi nasai. So there yasumi means take a rest. So obviously in night when we greet someone like good night, so we only greet this word after just when somebody is going to sleep. So in that case only we use this sort of greeting. So here and nasai is a very politeful, respectful gesture. So in a very politeful way, if you are greeting someone, so you can say oyasumi nasai. But if you are greeting to your friend, if you are saying good night to your friend or something like that, so you can only use oyasumi. So you can only use oyasumi, then you are talking with your friends or if you are talking in a casual way. And if you want to make your greeting little politer and show some respect in that, so you can say oyasumi nasai. So next greeting is congratulations. So congratulations is a very important greeting in Japanese because they use this greeting with every wishes. Like if somebody make you a birthday wish, like somebody want to say you like happy birthday, or if somebody wants to say you happy new year. So in all those greetings, you will use omedetou gozaimasu. So like I'll tell you how to say happy birthday. If you want to say happy birthday in Japanese, so in that case, you can say Tanjobi omedetou gozaimasu. So Tanjobi means birthday. And if you are giving a greeting, like if you are wishing someone that happy birthday, so you can say Tanjobi omedetou gozaimasu. Similarly, like New Year is coming. So if you want to greet Happy New Year in Japanese, so New Year is known as Oshogatsu. So if you are greeting someone in that case, if you are saying Happy New Year, so you can say Oshogatsu omedetou gozaimasu, like that. It's the phrase of greeting someone like Happy New Year. So next is sayonara. So sayonara, most of the students use it in a different way. So it's not like that. Sayonara we only use when we are saying goodbye to someone. We are not gonna meet them again, or if I'm just going in a different country for study purpose and for a long time now we are not gonna meet or not gonna talk. So in that sense we say sayonara. So Devansh, you use sayonara a lot of time. So sayonara is the phrase which we can use when we are saying goodbye to someone. Okay. So now next is hello. So we have learned hello in Konichiwa also. So now it's the second use of hello. This hello is only be used in when you are saying like hello on a phone call. So only hello on a phone call, if you are making a phone call to someone, only in that case you will say mush mush. So here we have E also, but we don't pronounce that E. We say mush mush like that. So होता मोशी मोशी, लिखा मोशी मोशी जाता है, पर पूरा मोशी मोशी एकदम से E की sound we don't give. We say mush mush in the accent if you use a Japanese accent. So in that case, you will say it like that. Okay, so if any one of you have any sort of questions related the greetings, you can ask.
Since
Yes, Preeti-san.
we don't use sayonara and all the time. We want to only use when persons living permanent, like for a long time.
Yeah. So correct. When you are not gonna meet someone for a long time, in only that case you will use sayonara. We can't say sayonara every time. Like if I want to say you bye and we are gonna meet next day, so we can't say sayonara. Or if I'm going and we are gonna meet next week or next month, so in that context we don't say sayonara. Sayonara we say when we are saying goodbye, means we are not meeting again or we are not meeting for a long time now. So in only that cases we use sayonara.
Okay, Since.
Okay. Any other one? If you have any sort of doubt, you can ask.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, Tanvi.
Ma'am, can you tell me about Nihon? Why we call Japan Nihon?
We call Japan Nihon because Ni stands for sun and Hon stands for origin. So Nihon means origin of the rising sun. So in all over the world, the very first sun rises in Japan. So the people of Japan take it as a respect towards their country. Like in their country, the very first sun rises. So as per a very respectful gesture, they call their country as Nihon, where Nihon means land of rising sun. Understood?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, any other doubts?
Ma'am Adya.
Yeah, Adya.
Ma'am, hello on phone call. We say mosh mosh. Why?
Mosh, beta, it's not mosh mosh, it's mush mush. Okay, it's a phone call greeting. So that's why we call it mush mush.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so now we are proceeding further. In next, we have a different greetings. It's not a greetings basically, it's a phrase of Japanese. Okay, so it's a Japanese phrases. So these phrases, most of you didn't learn it yet. So it's a very important part. So it will also help you in your JLPT exam. So basically in the JLPT exam, our last section is Chokai. So Chokai is the listening part of JLPT. So in that listening part, these phrases will help you a lot. So to memorize these phrases are very much important. So first phrase is, how are you? So how are you? You ask when you are meeting someone. So you say, how are you? So how are you is O genki desu ka? So here genki means cheerful, healthy. So O genki desu ka in all over be a phrase that is how are you? Then next phrase is I'm at home. We use that phrase in Japan a lot of times, like when you are coming back home, like if you are coming back home from your school, from your office or from somewhere, and you are coming back home, जब आप घर वापस लौटते हैं, so आते ही आप सबसे पहले यही greeting बोलते हैं, that is tadaima.
बस कोई बंदा
Tadaima. Yes, Himansan. Okay. So our next greeting is welcome home. So if you are saying like tadaima, so some other person who are greeting you back at home, so they will say o kaeri nasai, means welcome back. Or like if someone gone out of the country, gone abroad for some of reason, like for studies or for a trip kind of thing, and when they come back to a home, so in that case also we can use this greeting, that is o kaeri nasai. So not only for coming back home, also we can use this for coming back the country. So आप जब अपनी country भी वापस आते हैं after coming back from abroad, so in that case also we can use o kaeri nasai. Okay. So our next greeting is next phrase, I accept the food. So basically this greeting we use before eating our food. So before eating food, we always be thankful to God. So it's the greeting for God, like thank you for giving us food. So this greeting is known as itadakimasu. So we use this greeting before eating the food. Then next phrase is see you tomorrow. So every student now, you can use this phrase when you are saying like see you soon, see you tomorrow. So that is ja mata ashta. So instead of saying sayonara, you can say ja mata ashta. So if you are saying see you tomorrow, in that case you can use ja mata ashta. But if you are saying like see you soon, so you can only say ja mata, or you can say mata ne. So all these phrases you can use. Excuse me, Himansan, can you please mute your mic? Yeah. Okay. So next is, may I have your name? So basically when you are asking somebody their name, so in that case you can use onamaiwa. So it's the very basic phrase used in Japanese. So for asking name of anyone, you will use this phrase, that is onamaiwa. So it's the basic phrase. And then thank you. Thank you is arigato gozaimasu. So saying thank you have a lot of ways. So if you are saying thank you very much, so in that case you can use domo arigato gozaimasu. If you are normal saying thank you, in that case you can use arigato gozaimasu. And if you are casually say thanks to your friend, you can only say arigato in that case. Okay. Then you're welcome. It's not welcoming someone at your place or something like that. It's not that. It's a reply of thank you. Like you're welcome. That is do itashimashite. Do itashimashite. And last is I am sorry. So in Japan, they have a gesture. If they make a mistake or something like that, they bow their head down and then they say sorry. Means I'm sorry, like हमें किसी चीज का regret है. So when we are showing regret, so we can make a face like this. We can bow our head down. So bowing head down is a very useful phase in a culture of Japan. So while you make mistake, also in that case you will bow down. If you are greeting someone like good morning or something like that, to showing respect, you will bow down. So going down have a different sort of degrees, that how much you want to go down. In different cases, the degree will changes. So like if you are saying for sorry, so you will bow down your head a lot. So like that phrase is gomenna sai. Gomenna sai means I'm sorry. So these are the very important phrases. So now after this, we are gonna shift now. That is facts about Japan. So many of you choose Japanese language as a hobby, or some of you just got fascinated towards the culture by seeing some interesting facts about the country, about Japan, or about the language also. So we are gonna discuss about some interesting phrases now, about some interesting facts about Japanese, about Japan. So now our first fact is origami. So origami is associated with Japanese culture. In our childhood, हमने काफी ज़्यादा origami use किया है in our school times. But we don't know about, at that time, we don't know that it is from Japan, it associates from Japanese culture. We don't know about it. So now I am telling you about that, कि origami जो है basically originate ही Japan में हुआ था. So origami का मतलब क्या होता है? Here ori means fold, like folding. कि आप paper को fold करो या just folding anything is ori. And gami is a paper. So folding paper art is known as origami. So we make birds and many more structures while folding the paper. So that is also known as origami. So origami is a Japanese word, and this is used as a origami is used in many countries. So origami is originated from the culture of Japan, and it's very much popular there. Now our next fact is vending machine. So in Japan, they have a lot of vending machines there. So in the vending machine, they have different sort of vending machine, like for cigarettes also, for magazine also, for flowers also, for more of the things they have vending machines also. Like if you want change of your money, like if you have a big note and you want change of it, so also they have vending machine for that. So you can go there and you can put your note and they can give you change out of it. So vending machine have a vast culture in Japan. So they have a very different sort of vending machines. Like you can set temperature also. Like if you are buying any coffee or drink from a vending machine, so you can change the temperature. You can tell like if you want hot coffee or cold coffee, and according to your choices and your preference, you can choose the thing out of it. So it's a very important and interesting thing there. So while the first machine of Japan, a vending machine of Japan, is used to sell the cigarettes, and now magazines, flowers, and food items and many more things are selling through vending machines. So next we are about, okay, so next is Kit Kat. So Kit Kat in Japanese is known as Kitto Kato. So in Japan, they have bizarre flavors of Kit Kat. There are many flavors like chili flavor, sweet potato flavor, grilled corn flavor. So many of you have tried Kit Kat in India. So in India, we have only a sweet chocolatey flavor of Kit Kat. But in Japan, they have a lot of flavors of Kit Kat, like salty Kit Kat, watermelon flavor Kit Kat, wasabi. Wasabi is a very spicy flavor. So of all those flavors, they have Kit Kats. So here Kit Kat also give an idea of a very good greeting, that is like when somebody going to the exam, for giving exam in Japan, so they will give that person a Kit Kat. So Kit Kat by name, if I can pronounce it in Japanese, it's Kitto Kato. So Kitto means surely, and kato means you will win. So surely you will win is a greeting. Alok san, can you please mute your mic? Okay. So Kitto means surely, and Kato is that you will win, you will succeed. So while somebody going for giving some exam, so it's a very polite gesture of teachers or parents to give that student a Kit Kat chocolate. So it's a sign of luck, like you will surely win. You will surely succeed in your examination or something like that. So in that term, they use Kit Kat chocolate. And then next is anime. So anime is the very famous fact about Japan. So hand-drawn and computer animation is originated from Japan only. So Japan is also known as hub of animation. Japanese anime is worldwide famous. So you all have ever seen any sort of anime. So all the anime are originated from Japan only. So that's why Japan is known as the hub of animation. And last fact which we are going to discuss today is fake food. So fake food is food models or food items, sample of foods are known as fake samples that in Japanese is known as shokuhin sampuru. So shokuhin is food material, food product, and sampuru is sample of that. So shokuhin sampuru is sample of food products. So that are fake samples or fake models or replica of the food item. So these are commonly used in restaurants to just represent the dishes. So dishes को represent करने के लिए एकदम उनके replica sort of dishes बनते हैं. अब ये जो replicas होते हैं ये बिल्कुल exactly same होते हैं to the real dish. So basically इसका fact क्या है, क्यों इस तरह से बनाया जाता है replica? Just because कि different sort of dishes होते हैं, so it will help the person to select which dish he or she wants to eat. So they can see the replicas and they can choose out of that. So this sample will not waste the food. So if I make food item and I will showcase it, then it will be wasted at the end of the day because we can't sell it. But here, this help us to save the wastage of food. So in that case, this food samples are helpful. So it's made of plastic. So it's exactly same as the food you will get inside. So now, next slide is.
Ridhima Sen, one doubt.
Yeah, sure, ask.
Yeah, so you said that Apple, if it's a company, the name would be Apple itself, right, in Japanese, but over here.
Apuru.
Okay,
it's per as the accent of Japanese people, because there is no la sound in Japanese. They can't pronounce la. So they change that in ra sound. Like if they want to say London, so that is also London. So they can't say la sound. So they speak it as per their accent.
Okay, so over here you mentioned Kit Kat. So is it like the brand Kit Kat, or it's something else, like completely different food, something like that?
It's a completely different thing.
Okay.
It's not originated in Japan, but as per a Japanese point of view, like वो बोलते इस तरह है, उनके accent के हिसाब से हो जाता है कितो कातो. अगर उनको Kit Kat बोलना है, so Kit Kat को वो इस तरह बोलेंगे कितो कातो. So वो उनके wordings के हिसाब से इस तरह का phrase बनता है, and that's why they are using it like, okay, you will surely win.
Okay.
So as
so
per
like, the name, but when they speak it in that manner, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Most welcome. Any other one? Have any doubt?
Fact food. What do you mean by fact food?
Yes, Magesh san, I can't understand.
Ma'am, Again, explain. One, 1 minute, ma'am. Voice is not clear. Fact food, ma'am. अभी टोल दिया ना? Fake food.
हाँ, packed food,
हाँ.
fake food. Yes.
Once again, explain, ma'am.
Okay, so fake food is a sample food. Okay, वो प्लास्टिक का फूड होता है. वो सिर्फ सैम्पलिंग के लिए रखा जाता है आउट ऑफ द रेस्टोरेंट, सो दैट कोई भी आकर देख सके कि अच्छा ये डिश इस तरह की होगी, एंड देन दे कैन सेलेक्ट दैट इफ ही और शी शुड ईट दिस और दैट. So for that case, they use a sample food. And so that they can't waste food, something they have that mindset. So in that case, they use plastic food. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So now last topic is benefits of learning Japanese. So Japan is a leader in many sectors like automobiles, animation, electronics, computers, infra, manufacturing, and many more. So Japanese private sector's interest in India is rising, and currently about 1,400 Japanese companies have their branches in India, such as Honda, Sony, Fujitsu, Hitachi, Toshiba, etc., etc. And many Japanese companies also have tie-up with Indian companies, so that there also we have many sort of job requirements. So not only in Japanese companies, but also in Indian companies, we have a requirement for Japanese translators. So that's a great doorway for the learner of Japanese to be employed in the company. So, and one more thing, like Indian IT engineers are the backbone of Japanese IT sector. So IT engineers have been a upper hand in the language. So they can work for Japanese IT sector as well. So many of the IT engineers of India are working in Japanese companies. So Japan is the hub of engineering and IT sector, science sector. So that's why it helps you a lot in that line also. But out of that, you can be a translator, interpreter, or anime artist, or in training sector also. So these also are many gateways for the students who are learning Japanese. So when you are in a learning session, so you can get more knowledge, and you can see many ways, like you can do this, you can do that after learning the language. So every foreign language have a upper hand. If a student learn foreign language, they have upper hand. They can boost up their resume by showing that. And Japanese is a very different language from other foreign languages. So if you learn this language, it will be really beneficial for you in future. So now next is, yeah, work in or study in Japan. So we also provide you a study in Japan guidance as well. So any of the student who is interested in studying Japan point of view, so they can contact us. So we can also help in study in Japan program. So in recent years, economic relationship between Japan and India have expanded and deepened. As a result, the trade between two countries has been increased. So the job perspective of in Japanese culture, in Japanese company is also increased. So Japan has a most best education system in the world. So you can also go there for study purpose as well. And they also provide you many perks if you go there and study there. So there are many scholarship programs and everything like that. So for study in Japan, you can contact us. And for working in Japan, you have to study till advanced level of Japanese. After that, you can work in any Japanese firm here, gain some experience, and then you can be shifted to Japan for work purpose. So it can be a great career asset if you learn Japanese, or if you study in Japan, it will always improve your employability, because if you go and study in Japan, you can work there in part-time culture, and after that you can gain knowledge how to move in the companies there, and then you can do job and be settled in Japan. So now, last point is why to choose our institute. So basically, we are here to provide you quality of education.
Ma'am,
Yeah, Adya.
ma'am, can I go after 10th class?
For study.
Yes, ma'am.
So dear, you can see a contact number on the screen. So you can contact there, and you can get your proper knowledge about it from that number only. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay.
Sir,
Yes, Preeti san.
can we learn a Japanese literature there?
Yeah, you can learn anything. You can do diploma, you can do any sort of course related to Japanese culture or anything. Okay, so it's your choice. So yeah, why to choose our institute? So basically, we are here to provide you quality of education in addition to flexible timing. Working professionals can also join us. Basically, we are here to give you evening timing also. So you can be with us, and you can we will make you prepare for JLPT preparation. So after completing your course,